Welcome back, everyone, to another part two of this reaction of the IU Purdue game from, I'm going to say last night because I actually didn't even get this recorded until earlier this morning. But the whole world is completely shocked here in Indiana, here in Bloomington in particular. And I'm going to say that that game was a game you would watch if Archie Miller was still the head coach of the IU basketball team to this day. And I'm just saying that was a terrible showing. 87-66 was the final score of the game. And boy, we didn't even put much up on the stat sheet. Let me tell you that much. Zach Edey had an incredible night last night with 14 rebounds and 33 points with no assists. It's just one of those scenarios, as I said, as an Indiana fan, you went into it with high hopes, and that's why I'm a little bit down today. It's just a high hopes that we were actually going to win against this team for the third year in a row, and now we have a much harder road to get down to try and not only be the best out of all of the Big Ten Conference, but also compete with the rest of the Big Ten Conference as well. Where they said last night, stats don't come into play, stats do come into play today. And now, since Indiana is still fifth in the conference, we have one more meeting with Purdue again on February 10th at 8 p.m. That game should be on Fox on a Saturday night in West Lafayette so we can get revenge on the Boilermakers. And not only can we get revenge, but we also have probably one of the more tougher schedules going into the rest of the season. Wisconsin, who lost last night to Penn State, they're playing IU. We play Illinois, another ranked game. Illinois is at the best position they've been, even though they've lost 3 games. Iowa, another big sleeper, will be here at IU after the 2 game break from being away. And then we have Penn State, a tough team that we faced last season. But last season's team was not like this season's team. And then again, we have Ohio State on February 6th, followed by Purdue. The rest of the schedule after that features Northwestern, Nebraska, another matchup with Penn State and Wisconsin, Maryland, Minnesota, and Michigan State. So, doing the calculations, we have 12 more games left of the college basketball season after the Wisconsin game. And to be honest with you, last night was a complete and utter embarrassment. That's why I'm going to make this episode very short and sweet and very tie it up. But Trey Galloway was not at his best last night. He was shooting the shots he needed to take, and the shots that went in were shots that went in. Every time we had momentum, it got stuffed. Because this is one thing I've noticed with this IU team. We get into one basket, maybe 4 minutes where we're not making any basket, and then a few more minutes where we're not making any or all baskets that we ever take, and then we have this one moment where we make another shot or make a big play or make a defensive stop, and then after that we fall apart. And then we fall apart for a little bit, and then we climb back up again. These games, I will admit, are so stressful. They're very stressful, not just on us Hoosier fans, but on everybody else. Now these fans have been waiting for hours, waiting to get in the negative degrees temperatures of mid-January. It's snowing here in Indiana. And it's... I don't know what else to say. Purdue made a statement last night. They made a statement to the Big Ten Conference. Don't mess with us. Don't mess with us. That loss against Nebraska better fuel them a lot going into the rest of the season. This is a different Purdue team. Like I said back when Michigan was playing in the Rose Bowl, I was like, this team is different. There's no way Alabama's going to beat them. And now since Nick Saban is gone and the old empires have fallen, there's still an empire in college basketball that's needing to be dethroned. And we used to have that. We used to have dynasties. I even saw a video last night talking about how college basketball has changed and how many people have just diverted away from college basketball altogether, more on the men's side than the women's. The women's side has a very favorable fan base that could grow in the next few years. But what I'm saying is that there's no one-headed monster that we need to take down. There's usually about 5 or 6 that we see now that maybe lose their rankings, lose one of their heads, and then come back and try to fight some more and try to claw some more. And Purdue, I'm shocked they're still the number 2 ranked team in the country. Out of all the teams that are still in the AP poll, number 2 should have been number 5. And now I would say come back to the number 2 spot, Purdue. Because UConn is still in the number 1 seed. North Carolina making a humongous comeback from where they were last season. And then not only that, but Zach Edey and Purdue to basically tie it up. Purdue and Zach Edey made one of the biggest statements, like Indiana's not going to mess with us. And I think, as I said, if this Purdue team can, and we don't know now, but if they do well in the NCAA tournament this year, this team will be talked about like the 2019 Virginia squad as a team that should have never won a title that ended up winning a championship and winning a title. And it's still so early in the year to tell whether or not, well, actually, it's not. It's around the midway point of the year. But the big thing is that what are we going to see out of teams like I said, the Duke-North Carolina matchup on February is a big matchup I will be following as well. But other than that, excuse me, I yawned there because I woke up early this morning. Other than that, it's a downfall for Indiana basketball. I don't think Mike Woodson should be fired yet, but if we are going to lose these next 2 games and lose our spot out of the NIT and just go into the Big Ten tournament, maybe rank the number 14th team in the country, this team can't be the Miller squad. But it did look like it last night. It looked like Archie Miller's team. That didn't look like Mike Woodson's team. It didn't even look like Bob Knight's team. I haven't had this video that I'm going to play at the end about how I truthfully felt about the matchup. But boy, I wish Bob Knight came back from heaven, man. He's rolling around in his grave. Watching this team defensively get shut out. Offensively get shut out. And the boards in the basket from 3, wherever you could imagine. They're just getting blown out. It's ridiculous. But at least we still have the women's basketball team we're cheering for. Even though, in my opinion, they probably will lose to Iowa at home. And Iowa will take the season sweep. Which would suck, but look at their resume this season. Iowa looks very good. And I'm going to talk about women's basketball in the next episode, along with the NJCAA and all that good stuff. But signing off with Bob Knight, this is Braydyn Bear-Lents. Thanking you for watching and listening to the Cinderella Slippers podcast. We'll have a new newsletter out every Tuesday and Thursday on Substack and LinkedIn. I haven't even gotten to that yet because of just life and how busy it's been. But we'll see if we can try to get a newsletter done today. I did actually make the promise this time. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm actually going to record this episode. So applaud me that I did something like that. We're on episode 10. We're getting a good groove going. And my goal is to do this weekly so we can continue to talk about the NCAA tournament before the tournament begins, arriving this March. Thank you so much for, again, listening. This was the thoughts for the IU Purdue game. And as for the Cinderella Slippers podcast, don't break the curse. This is Braydyn Lentz saying thank you for listening. Have a great day, and we'll finish it off with Bob Knight.
Want to play, then I'm getting the fuck out of here. I mean, if you're not going to recover Greg Graham, if you're just going to let him drive by you, if the rest of you are going to let him catch the ball outside the 3-second lane and drive all the way in here without one guy challenging him, then I'm leaving and you fucking guys will run till you can't even suffer. Now, I'm tired of this shit. I'm sick and fucking tired of an 8-10 record. I'm fucking tired of losing to Purdue. I'm not here to fuck around this week. Now, you may be, but I'm not. Now, I'm going to fucking guarantee you that if we don't play up there Monday night, you aren't going to believe fucking days. Now, I am not here to get my ass beat on Monday. Now, you better fucking understand that right now. This is absolute fucking bullshit. Now, I'll fucking run your ass right into the ground. I mean, I'll fucking run you. You'll think last night was a fucking picnic. I had to sit around for a fucking year with an 8-10 record in this fucking league. And I mean, you will not put me in that fucking position again. Or you will goddamn pay for it like you can't fucking believe. Now, you better get your head out of your ass.